Hey, how's it going, listeners? This is Universa. I'm joined by my good friend Andrew Salazar. You can see him up top. There he is. It's a very special edition of Servant of Comics. You could call it like I don't know. Like it's like a one shot. There you go. It's like a one shot
hmm
review of comics. But
There it is.
yeah, how are you doing, Andrew? You went somewhere this weekend. So did I. We didn't
Yes,
see each
sir.
other, but we
No,
both went to Avengers Campus.
and we both had very, very different experiences
I
from what I
guess
could
so.
see.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. I'm still here right now. That's a different experience I had. If you look at my
Yep.
Zoom background,
You got stuck there.
that's
Bob Chapek said you can't leave until
Bob Chapek.
you've not until you've paid your $40, $50 DLC to enjoy Spider-Man Web Slingers to get the
Yeah,
full experience. You cannot leave the park. As what I'm holding
yeah.
in my hand. This is why I'm home because I bought it like the no-brain consumer that I am, and they let me leave the house. You're still there because you haven't paid your dues, sir.
Yeah.
So go
I
get your web slinger and go ride Spider-Man Web Slingers only at Avengers Campus. And I can't go
I
there.
know. I got like some Funko Pops, but like, did that help you with the ride? Like, because people were saying it.
I
Like,
mean, we can get into it. I'm gonna get into
yeah,
it.
we'll
I'm
get
gonna get
into
into
it.
it. I might get into it.
I thought those were cool. I just like it was like why I didn't buy. There was a spider bot that you could buy for like 25. I just it seemed like a good deal, but like I was like, what am I gonna do with this? Like, I'm not gonna
Right.
use it. It's just gonna be there, you know. I got the Funkos because I might, like fence them somewhere, but that's not here
Right.
nor there. But yeah, Avengers Campus. This was kind of like the highlight of my year. I mean, I go to Disneyland every a few times every year when I wouldn't get a pass. I don't make enough to make a pass, but an annual pass. But I enjoy it. It's nice. Obviously there's nothing wrong with being like a park enthusiast. Like if you're a quote unquote a Disney adult is the term. Like that's well, I mean that's a term that
There is a fine line, though, Gene. There is a
yeah,
fine
yeah.
line. Don't tell me there is no fine line, because there is.
No, yeah.
There is.
Well,
Trust me, there is.
I was gonna say like if you just go to the park and you want to feel like a kid again, like that's it's perfectly fine. There's nothing to it's a really
Mhm.
cool hobby to have, I would say. So I enjoy going. Obviously don't like going to the OC as much, but
No, sir.
I'll make it just for Disneyland.
We
But
stay away from there.
yeah, I'll get like profiled in like Huntington Beach or something. I would, yeah. Huntington Beach is terrible. But anyway, Avengers Campus. Yeah, what did you think? I guess like let's just go straight into it. How does this add to the park? Like, what are your like? So we had different experiences, but like,
hmm
this is different than I would say like Galaxy's Edge. I felt is trying to be a different sort of thing. Um,
Right.
and it really added to the tower. Well, the Galaxy's Breakout, which used to be Tower of Terror.
Mission breakout, yeah.
Mission Breakout, yeah.
hmm
Can't do that right. I get like motion sickness or something. Um,
Well, well, first of all, I want to say I'd like to thank you for your opportunity to be on here and to talk about this because
mhm,
it feels very weird to be talk about uh, the parks again, like the Disney park specifically, but also the theme park experience. Like what you said, um, I've been going to like the theme park experience has very much been a part of like my life since I was a child. It was like bred into me.
yeah,
Disneyland, yeah, but also like Universal, like the yearly traditions. Like if you know me, then you know like when Halloween season comes, I go to town on like
Horror Nights.
Scary Farm, Horror Nights. Like that shit is fucking fun. But also, there's a special place for the Disney parks because prior to COVID, I was a pass holder. It was like a tradition that me and my friends have had for
Hmm.
years and years, and of course, obviously, that ended with COVID and everything.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
obviously, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with like wanting to go to like a theme park, whether it be like Disney or not be Disney or
Yeah,
whatever, and to have like to enjoy yourself, to be freewheeling, or you know, there's sometimes I take like my nieces and shit. That's like there's no problem with that, but I feel like the line gets drawn and people talk about it in a negative light when you have people who are like like reaching like their 40s maybe and like
yeah,
they're all they do like their whole personality and their whole brand is like defending like
I
a
joke.
mega corporation, but like,
Yeah.
because like again, people who are familiar with Gene and familiar with myself, they see that we're very like we can be very vocal about plenty of things,
Yeah.
but I feel like I know it's so interesting because like it was the first day. I went on the very first day of Avengers Campus, and Gene, you went the following day.
Yeah.
But
I went opening weekend.
it's funny because I had plenty of people, and I've been on this podcast before talking crap about what is it, Star Wars, whatever. Like, but,
Yeah.
those are my genuine opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
if I'm expressing whatever just concerns or whatever I may have is because I feel a certain way about something. And again, people who know me know that I'm not some kind of like Star Wars or like Marvel
Yeah.
anti
Yeah.
because
Shill.
I
We're
like
wearing shirts that are
no,
Shillish,
I
but
genuinely
I'm
I've
wearing my
been on this.
Stanley shirt.
I've I can't. I feel like when I've been on this podcast and me and Diego have gone on it at Spider-Man shit, I feel like you can't really say like I'm some kind of anti or like completely. It's okay. There's not enough nuance in these conversations. What I'm
Sure.
saying,
Yeah.
right? So it's funny where people are like, "Wow, Andrew, like you didn't like WandaVision. You didn't like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What are you doing at Avengers Campus?" I was like, I wasn't aware that I had to fucking like everything in order to go to
Yeah.
fucking Disneyland. Sorry, I didn't get that fucking message, or I wasn't aware that I had to
You had
I
to.
had to do like a survey, my Disney
Yeah.
Plus
Like you had to.
survey.
You had to watch like Cruella on Disney Plus and like
I
it.
didn't pay my $30, and that's why I had a significantly worse experience than what you had. Even though I'm not sure if you paid $30 or whatever, but I'm just
I
gonna leave
just
that as a
watched it
mystery.
in the theater.
But you see, I haven't even seen it, so that's like Bob
Yeah.
Chapek said he is not a real one. Let's fuck up his day, and that's exactly why it's pros and cons. But
Yeah.
uh, right off the bat, going into Avengers Campus, like is going on so many tangents, but I really went expecting it to be like not ass, but I expected it to be like pretty like mediocre
Okay.
because the last expansion or rehaul that California Adventure had
Is the Pixar
uh,
here?
is the Pixar Pier, and Pixar
Yeah.
Pier is literally like the laughing stock of like the theme park. It's a laughing stock
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like the theme park community. It's fucking cheap. It's boring. It's you can't say worse things about it because it's embarrassing. Like it's so what they did. I mean, it's cute. Like I'm not saying I'm never gonna set foot on there or anything like that because I mean I've been there obviously, but
Mhm.
it's one of those like really like unnecessary,
It's just like a
embarrassing
facelift.
rehauls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a very not even pretty facelift that it makes me not want to go there anymore. Like I don't ride the roller coaster as much anymore as I used to.
Yeah.
Not because it's the same fucking roller coaster. They didn't add anything. They didn't add a loop or anything. But the theming and whatever they did to that ride, I just find it very annoying.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't go
just
on that ride anymore.
aesthetically, it's just not as like appealing, I guess.
Right. And then like I'm not saying the colors are ugly. I don't want to go on that ride anymore. No, I'm saying that like if you've been on the Incredicoaster, the Incredibles, they yell at you throughout the entirety of that fucking ride. They're
Yeah.
yelling shit at you like, no, Jack, Mom, Dad, I got you. Like I find it genuinely annoying where like I don't want to hear shit when I'm on a roller coaster. Not like that. Right. So
Yeah.
I don't go on that ride as much anymore. I
Right.
find it
Right.
very annoying. It's the same ride, like it's not it's worse or less,
Yeah.
but it's just more annoying than it was. So
Sure.
I was expecting something similar
But you walk
with
in
uh
Avengers
with
Avengers
Avengers Campus because I wasn't I know I realize it's a very small group, but I was a big supporter of A Bug's Land because I thought it was
Yeah,
very
that's
cool.
they.
There's nothing wrong with having a fucking kiddie area, and I
Yeah.
thought frankly it was one of the best kiddie areas. So
Yeah, I remember liking it as a kid. Like there was the 4D movie with like Phil Flick and
yeah,
yeah.
that's still in Florida.
Oh, okay.
They still have that in Florida. I liked it. I thought I would go on. That show is really cute. It's really fun.
Yeah, I
It
vaguely
hasn't
remember.
necessarily aged bad because they
No.
would tell you stuff like save the bees and shit like that, and that stuff is still important. Well, they didn't
Yeah.
tell you that, but they would teach you like bees are important and like this is
It's
what they
it's
do, and
it's been a
it's
while since I went there.
it's
Now
very
it's
cute.
gone.
And it had really cool animatronics. Like there
Yeah,
was a flick that was upside down, and there was a hopper that would come out. They looked very good, and
but
everyone it was fun. I was sad when they announced that it was going away. I was sad,
yeah,
and all the kiddie rides are cute. Like they're fun. Like they were. It wasn't harming anybody,
Yeah,
right? And
they
I say
gutted.
this while I'm wearing this, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly. An
the
ant's
Ant Man.
life.
Like this is yeah, exactly. I
They
like
gutted. So they gutted Heimlich.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's a war crime. I will fucking fight whoever did that. Heimlich's Choo Choo Train
yeah, is in.
was one of the cutest rides
Yeah. What's
you could
the
ever hope to be on.
what's the context of what I'm telling you? It's like it's in.
Okay, so in the Web Slingers ride, it's not in the queue, in the ride, and I
Yeah.
don't know if this has like been confirmed or not because it's like very rough to see. There looks like there's like a small tractor,
Mm-hmm.
like a bare bones almost tractor like thing. It's like a cart to pull like heavy loads or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it says Heimlich on it. And people are saying it's like that. I don't think so because it doesn't even the Heimlich cart, like if you look back at the Heimlich carts, they don't look like that. It could be a strip down of the head. I'm not
Could
sure.
be. Yeah.
But it says Heimlich, so it's a nod to that.
Yeah.
Those fucking bastards, they're the type to fucking put you in your grave and then piss on it, you know.
Jesus.
But
But yeah, like Avengers Campus.
I'm sorry. You see, I used to go all the time. The
Yeah.
last thing, Heimlich's Choo Choo Train was so cute.
Yeah.
It was one of those
It's
rides that you're like, wow, if I ever have a kid one day,
no,
I would
totally.
love to bring this. This is so cute, right? But
Yeah.
okay, Avengers Campus, rest in peace, Bugs Life.
R.I.P. Heimlich.
Uh, um, surprisingly, again, I thought it was gonna be pretty mediocre because Pixar was mediocre. Um, even again, this is talking shit about Bob Chapek, who is now the CEO, who took
He's
Bob
the
Iger's
CEO.
spot because he was the former head of parks.
Parks. Yeah.
He is very notorious for being incredibly cheap,
Yeah. He's
for
very
being he's
stingy.
like budget cuts,
Um.
everything to the point where people who follow along with like the parks, they know that Galaxy's Edge was greatly affected
It was
by certain
downgraded.
decisions. To a certain, like Galaxy's Edge is incredible. Like you go there, it
Yeah.
looks
It's
beautiful,
immersive.
but there were still a bunch of things that were cut.
Mm-hmm. There's supposed to be
Like
droids that would follow
there
you
were supposed to be
around.
more droids that were following on. Droids
Aliens.
that, yep, droids that we know are like somewhat complete because they've shown them off to people at conventions and stuff. Like, oh, this droid is gonna walk around Galaxy's Edge. They're not there anymore. More stunt performers to do shows. There was a whole like another kiddie ride, but it was supposed to be like not like a. It's what is I'm trying to think. It looked like some kind of big like herbivore. Not what am I thinking about? I'm stupid. I feel so stupid.
Rancor, or I don't know.
No, no, no,
Uh,
no. Like those, the big. It looks something similar to. I feel like such a dummy because I should know what they're. It looked like a bantha, but it wasn't a bantha. But like it was a kiddie ride, and you had like it just walked you around. That got completely cut. There's concept art of that that's easy to
yeah.
find online. So there were so many things that were downgraded, and people like even specifically Star Wars fans like who were highly anticipating Galaxy's Edge. They still feel the pain, and even I do to a certain degree because they see things and they're like, wow, that was supposed to be Galaxy's Edge. Now, tying back to Avengers, I was genuinely like fucking shocked. Now,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure, and I made a few tweets about this because I was like not live tweeting, but I was tweeting my whole experience. But the fact that within the first 30 minutes that I was in that, it's not even that big. Again, Bugsland
Yeah.
wasn't even that big.
It's
But
not.
when
Yeah.
you go in there, it looks bigger than what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
If you used to go to because Bugsland looked it felt very condensed because of like the big ass the clovers and all the rides were close
Yeah.
together. So that's why it felt more tight. But I guess there was more space than meets the eye, if you want to say. But
Okay.
I was shocked. My first 30 minutes, I saw like three different showcases. Like I saw that Black Widow show that she fights
Yeah. She fights
Taskmaster.
her and Black
I
Panther fight
saw
Taskmaster.
yeah, yeah, right. I saw
Doctor
the Dora
Strange.
Milaje came
Oh
out.
yeah, they
She did
do
like a
like a
whole
show.
presentation. Yeah, in the quad. I saw like Ant-Man and Wasp. I saw
They're just
all of these
chilling.
people, and I saw the Spider-Man presentation on top of the building.
Yeah,
All
that's
within
that.
that, which is we're gonna talk about that because that's like the best fucking thing there is.
Yeah.
All within like 30 minutes, and I was like, holy shit! I've genuinely never seen this much. Uh, this much like these many stunt performers and these many like actors to
Hmm.
say within such a short time period within like a new land because they've done similar things at Galaxy's Edge where there's an original character they made for the land. She's like a rebel spy that works for Leia.
Yeah.
I can't remember her off the top of my head. She has blue hair.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
what's her name? fuck,
I
whatever.
forgot.
But
That's all right.
she does shows where she'll go on top of like there's like they have again they design some of these buildings where they have kind of like a stage on top. She'll go on top and stormtroopers will come and be like get her and they'll do like a whole little thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in person. They only do that, from my understanding. They did it like on the opening day. They did it like on like the opening day of the other ride. Like they only do it. They're very picky about when they do it. And when I went to Avengers Campus and I saw them again, it's the first day, so obviously they're gonna go ham. They're gonna go all out. But
Yeah.
some of the things that they did are not are permanent like that,
Yeah.
or feel
'Cause
permanent
I
like that.
saw that when I was there. Yeah.
Right. When I say feel permanent, I feel like that Spider-Man animatronic in the Spider-Man show, that's always gonna be there. That they're
Yeah.
never gonna get rid of that. The Dora Milaje thing, that could be like something seasonal, but that's something that they could do all the time. The only ones that feel interchangeable are the ones that like with Taskmaster, because Taskmaster is not going to be
Right.
relevant after like,
Yeah.
or not as relevant after the Black movie fades away and
Black Widow.
another
Yeah.
movie comes out,
Comes
right?
out next
Oh yeah,
month.
I'm sorry. Yeah, after that movie, not that I'm not saying it's faded away because it's bad, but you know, there's an
It's
other movie that's going to come out
yeah. It's just
and it's
not
gonna
as
have the
relevant.
spotlight, right?
Yeah.
So again, I feel right off the bat, and again, shocking because Bob Chapek is fucking cheap, and the fact that all of these people are on the pay grade, I was like, wow, like you guys are actually fucking paying a lot of people
Yeah. For
to
Marvel.
fucking, yeah. I was like, I
Fair.
was shocked. I was like,
Fair
I don't want
comment.
to sound you're right. I was like, wow, like this actually feels
Hmm.
like you guys are trying,
Yeah.
because otherwise, Avengers Campus could have been easily mediocre, right?
Yeah. It,
It
it
could have
really
been
could, because it's like stuff like Galaxy's Edge, where I like Galaxy's Edge, but like it was very immersive. But like there's just like maybe like a block where nothing's happening in Galaxy's Edge.
It looks pretty, but there's nothing happening.
Yeah, there's
It
nothing
looks
happening.
pretty. There's nothing happening.
Because I was gonna say I just loved because I watched the Doctor Strange show, Magic show. You didn't get to watch that. Sorry.
No, I've seen pieces of it. I believe
Yeah,
it's the same show that they do on the cruise line, and they just put it in the land. I'm not sure
yeah.
if more or less, but go ahead.
But like and I was told looking at videos online that it changes, but like that whole show, it's like really cool because it's like he fights Dormammu. It's
Uh-huh.
like using like different like like projection stuff like that. But I think, and don't quote me on this, like he has to summon like another character
Hmm.
to help him out. He needs to give him like an item. He's trying to find something. And Doctor Strange summons Thor. I've heard like it's different characters,
Right, which is
different
cool.
shows. And
Different
that's
experience.
the really cool, not cool. That's the really most interesting part about the MCU is like it's a universe. It's interconnected. Not in the sense like you know all the plot stuff, but like you just like seeing the characters interact,
Hmm.
like Thor and like Doctor Strange interacting, or like Spider Man and like Iron Man or Captain America. You
Hmm.
know, that's like the funnest part of the MCU. I think that's one of the best features, and that goes back to I'm wearing a shirt, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and all the other architects of the Marvel universe when they're making the comics originally. Like you would have like Thor pop up, like for like only a panel. It wouldn't be
Yeah, right,
like
exactly.
it'd be like a page, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, Spider Man?" Or like Spider Man just passes him. He's like, "Wonder if he could help me." He's like, "No, I have to get here, and you have to read
Issue
Journey."
5,
Yeah,
yeah.
Journey of the Mystery 37.
Yeah.
But like just seeing like the fact that these characters like rub elbows with each other, just like brush shoulders, is like
Hmm.
really cool. And you saw that at the park. That I think
Exactly.
that's the best part of the like the Marvel, just the I guess the Marvel brand. I'm not trying to
Hmm. Right. No,
whatever.
you're right. It is. People love to see these. It's like Doctor Strange can pop up in Thor Ragnarok, and it doesn't even feel uncanny. Like I forget that he's in that movie a lot of time, but
I
it's
do,
like
yeah,
such like it's like, in my opinion, it's kind of like a genuine inclusion for him to be in that movie, and then how he's gonna be in Spider-Man No Way Home, but we yet to see how that plays off, right?
yeah,
But it's the same thing that you're talking about, where these characters can rub elbows and come back. I will say, and we were talking about this the whole day. And again, I'm not a the Galaxy's Edge anti, because I've gone hundreds of times since it opened. I
yeah,
was on the first days. I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
genuinely that ride, Rise of the Resistance, is probably like the most like immersive theme park
Yeah.
ride you can find ever.
I don't know how they did some of that
Yeah,
stuff in there. 'Cause,
it's genuinely like it's like groundbreaking. Like to say the
yeah,
least,
in
in the
terms of
world of
like
theme parks,
yeah, like
and
being a Imagineer, like you're
right,
engineering
exactly.
like a ride experience, you know.
But to play devil's advocate, because of course we got to make
Yeah,
things
sure.
we got to make things spicy. one of the bit, and I talked up like the irony that I talked about this last time I was on Waffle and we were talking about Bad Batch. I started bitching about this, and again,
Oh,
it's not a
Galaxy's Edge.
real, it's not a real, no, not about Galaxy Edge, about canon and the
Oh
timeline,
yeah,
and it's not a real Waffle podcast unless Andrew's bitching about something
sure.
if he's on here, right?
Yeah,
So again, the biggest crutch Galaxy's Edge has is that they fucking sold that whole land being canon and being at a
hmm
very specific point
they
in the
have like a
timeline.
Marvel comic about it.
Yeah, yes, they do. This is Galaxy's Edge. Like you are at the year is 35, whatever the fuck, and you're here and Darth Vader's dead, like all that stuff happens. So if you're like a little kid, if you're like a tourist, or if you don't really you're not into this like as much as we are, you want to see Darth Vader too fucking bad. You can't meet Darth Vader. He's dead. You need to meet Kylo. You need to meet Kylo, you meet Rey. And again, nothing against those characters, but a lot of people where's Boba Fett? Like
Yeah,
he's not here.
you could have the
That's so
Mandalorian.
sad. Did they add him?
No, he wasn't there. I didn't see
I
him. I
think
saw Chewbacca.
they were talking about prior to COVID, like before things got worse and Mando was coming out. People were talking about how I think it was during COVID. People were talking about there was rumors that Bob Chapek, and it always goes back to this dude. He was like, no, Mando, like Ahsoka, the very popular characters from Mandalorian season 2, they need to be in Galaxy's Edge. Like, I command you to do that. And again, that's not necessarily like a bad decision because people want
It
to
makes
meet
sense.
Mando. Right?
Yeah,
They want to. You have a Star Wars park. People want to meet your character, but that doesn't make fucking sense when your land is like specific in the
yeah,
timeline, and
yeah,
you're basically barricading yourself from endless possibility.
yeah.
Now, when they were making, and they've been saying this from the very beginning, in terms of the whole Marvel expansions on all the Disney parks, not even just over here like Hong Kong,
Yeah.
etc. And James Gunn has said this specifically because when he made Mission Breakout, when they rehauled Tower of Terror, they were like, guys, what you see in the theme parks, like yes, it's Chris Pratt, it's Tom Holland, um, they're in the rides, like the actual actors, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, they're in the rides, but that's not connected to the movies because
Yeah.
people tweet James Gunn shit 24/7, like where does Mission Breakout take place in the Mario Guardians timeline? It's like it
It's just
doesn't.
the
That's
rides.
a separate. No, they went out of their way. It's a separate thing of it as like a separate timeline, and the movies are one thing, and these are the same characters that you love, but because people get so anal about canon and stuff like that, it's
Yeah.
not connected to the movies.
Well, yeah,
And
it's just
Disney,
like the Universal, like the Back to the Future ride, like the Back to the Future ride. It was
yeah,
like its own thing. Like I wouldn't like, where do Doc Brown and Marty like where does this take place? I mean,
right, yeah.
that's an old callback. Or like the
But we're
Simpsons
not.
ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
We're
does
not
the
like
Simpsons?
that anymore, right? But
Yeah,
things are not like that anymore, Gene. Everyone is so obsessed with
about yeah,
canon and
yeah,
canonizing everything. But they were smart about it, and they said it's its own timeline. But all of the Marvel parks across the world, like in Hong Kong, and the ones that we're going to make because they're going to add a Web Slingers and an Avengers Campus in Paris. So all the Avengers campuses, they're all connected. They're all gonna have different rides, more or
Oh,
less. Like
nice.
they're put because the one in Hong Kong has a shooting ride, but it's a Ant-Man and Wasp theme.
hmm
And then there's gonna be like an Iron Man roller coaster in I believe it's either Paris or Florida. They're making the Guardians roller coaster in Florida, but I think there's an Iron Man roller coaster coming. But all the lands are sharing the same story because we love interconnectivity.
hmm
But don't put this in line with the movies. So that's why at Avengers Campus you could see Steve Rogers and Sam literally fucking
Yeah,
like next to each
I
other.
saw.
You
Yeah, I
you
saw
don't
some.
care. Who fucking cares? Do you want to take a photo or not? Right?
Yeah,
Like go fucking line up, get your photo because if they weren't there, you'd be like, I want to take a picture with Sam or I want to take a picture with Steve.
right.
They're both there. Both fuck it. We're gonna give you both of them, right? So you don't want to cry. Again, that's a pro to Avengers Campus. I feel like Galaxy's Edge didn't have, right? Or they're taking it away, whatever the fuck they're doing over there. That it really does feel like wow, like limitless.
Yeah,
Like the full list of characters that you can meet in Avengers Campus is like
it's
over 20
interesting.
characters
Yeah, there's a
long.
lot.
Like
Captain
fucking
Marvel.
long.
I saw Spider Man, Captain Marvel, Black
Yeah,
Panther,
it's
Iron
long.
Man, Ant Man and the Wasp.
Hmm.
This is just all in the afternoon. The I
Yeah,
guess
you
a
walk in for
co-ed.
like 20 minutes and you see all these people and you're like, where the fuck are you? Like, it's overwhelming, but it's
Yeah,
cool,
it's
right?
cool. Yeah, it felt very
You,
immersive in its own
you
way.
don't get that in Galaxy's Edge.
No, you don't.
You'll see,
They're
you
like different things. I think it's kind of
no,
unfair,
they're
but
different. I'm being, that's why I'm being devil's advocate, G. I'm trying to stir shit up, right?
yeah.
But it's a little unfair, yeah, because you'll see things in Galaxy, like you'll see Rey. She has like her different costumes, so you won't see her the same every single time. But I I feel like the point that I'm getting at why I'm even bringing up too is that I could genuinely feel like, I mean, hopefully this doesn't go away. So people that can't make it to the parks yet, who have to go like by the end of the year, whatever it may be, they can get a similar experience that they're really trying to
Yeah.
sell this and to make it something big. And I feel like that was the saving grace because going into like Web Slingers, the
Okay.
ride is like it's pretty like it's okay. Like it's not like the
Yeah.
best fucking ride ever. It's okay,
Let's
but
let's
everything else
let's.
elevates it.
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about that now. So Web Slingers, the ride. I don't know.
Yeah,
Was the Web Slingers the
it's
ride?
called web.
That
It's called Web Slingers. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like the selling point because Spider-Man is a big property for Marvel and I guess Disney now. And this is not the first ride Spider-Man has been on. Remember the Universal? I forgot what it was called. Spider-Man the ride,
I
Universal
think it's just called Adventure or something. I could go
Adventures
into that.
was yeah.
I have hot takes on that. Trust
I
me.
like that ride when I was a kid, but again, I haven't been on that ride in like fucking 20 years.
Have you
So
seen it recently?
I watched like a YouTube thing of
Yeah.
it. It was interesting. I'm like, huh.
It feels straight out of like early 2000s,
It
90s
really it does, yeah.
aesthetic.
Well,
It has not aged.
it's based
Mhm,
on the '90s cartoon Spider-Man, kind of.
mhm.
Um, I was gonna say, do you remember? Did you ever go to Universal Studios Hollywood when you were a
When
kid?
what? Yeah,
So they
I
used
did.
to have like a restaurant, and this is going off a tangent. We'll talk about web
Where they had
slingers.
that, they had a Marvel shop. There was like a giant ass
No, there
Hulk
was a Marvel
statue.
restaurant. It was called Marvel Mania. If I get $1 million, I want to
Oh, I see.
restart Marvel Mania. And that's what I want because I had a birthday there, and that was the greatest thing ever. Marvel Mania. Look it up if you haven't seen it. It was a Marvel themed
Uh,
restaurant in Universal Studios, Hollywood and Orlando for 2 years, and it just ended because of the Marvel bankruptcy, whatever. But it was really fun. It was the best place to have your birthday. But anyway, Web Slingers the ride. That's kind of like their crown jewel of this little thing. I gotta technically ride it 3 times because it broke down on me the first time. So I used the virtual queues. There was like lines out the ass for this,
yeah.
but the virtual queue, I guess this is a tip. They open at 7 a.m. So at 6:30 a.m., wake up, get the Disney app open.
You need to be constantly reloading it
Yeah,
at like
keep go
6:59.
go to join like virtual like line.
Yeah.
Go to the Web Slingers ride. Go there. Go to the page. Keep refreshing for like
You don't
20
have to refresh for
minutes.
30 minutes. No,
Yeah,
you
like every
just
five
refresh
minutes.
the last five
The last
before it
five,
hits
keep
7.
doing it because I
Uh-huh.
believe it. And I got like group one on
Yeah,
Saturday.
I don't know how the fuck you
Yeah, I
did
don't know
that.
how, but
You're
like
fucking lucky.
that's how you get into Web Slingers. Right? Don't try to like wait in the line because it's like it's. I
No,
saw
you you can't wait in line.
TikTok
Yeah.
videos where it's like 5 hours they spent in line. They could have been doing other stuff. And this is like
Mhm.
also the like you gotta like spend your time wisely. This is like a Comic Con. Just know what you're gonna do and plan it out well. But anyway, Web Slingers ride like I enjoyed it for what it was. Like it felt very like immersive. It was like cool that it kind of reminded me of the Universal rides. How the Universal rides rely on the what is that like the screens?
Mhm.
What is that called anyway? They rely
What
on
do you
that.
mean?
So like on all the Universal rides, like Jurassic Park or the Fast and the
Yeah, it's
Furious
just
ride,
screens. It's just
yeah,
screens.
Transformers the ride, they're all screens. And this is
Mhm.
like that, but it's better because like the Universal thing, they feel like the same fucking ride. That's why I hate Universal Studios. Now, because it's just the same ride. It's just literally the same ride, but it's like, all right, you like that ride? Well, here's this, but with Fast
The
and the
same
Furious.
one.
But this at least you're moving. There's like
Mhm.
the waiting line. You're in like You're in like the web facility. You see like little
Mhm.
bios about like Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Harley comes back.
Moon
Harley
Girl
from
too.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Dinosaur Girl is there.
Moon Girl. Moon Girl.
Yeah, Moon Girl. Excuse me.
From Devil Dinosaur Moon Girl. Yeah.
Devil
Mhm.
Dinosaur. Yeah, I mixed up her name. there's like a Wakandan scientist. I forgot her name,
Hmm.
but like it feels like really cool and it's really interesting and it feels very like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and the ride itself, you're moving, you feel like stuff blasting you and friends. You're competing against your friend. You're trying to destroy all these web bots. You're doing thwip, and you're trying to like it's like a video game. You're trying to like hit the green ones, hit the whatever, and because the he Peter creates like web bots that have like overrun Avengers Campus accidentally. And so
Drones almost.
drones, yeah.
No, we're
Spider-Man
not
and
getting. No,
drones. That's
we're
what
not
it is.
getting into
Yeah.
that. We're not getting into
But
it.
like, it feels really fun, and the fact that like you're in this ride and you're like just it feels really like interactive and like you get a high score. Like I got the third highest score of Saturday. That was cool.
Hmm.
And you're helping Spider-Man and like you're really interacting with him, and you get off and like you get like a nice you get like a photo of your score, and that's cool. And it was like I thought it was really fun. I don't know if it's like the best ride. Like to me, like Rise of the Resistance is the best current ride they have right now, but it was a fairly good time, you know. Um,
Uh, the interesting thing is, again, it's very like our perspectives. I think are funny because you're more kind of like a casual like Disney or like it's just a casual theme park goer. Like, oh, yeah, I don't like this, like that.
yeah,
You know, I'm not saying I'm like more extreme, but like I'm kind of like I see the side of like I say like a theme park Twitter that like all they do is just rag on shit
yeah,
24/7, and it's funny to see the difference in like the reactions of web slingers because a lot of people really fucking hate it, and then a lot of people just like genuinely have like a really good time.
yeah. It's a
But
good time.
I think again they did the same bullshit at Galaxy's Edge. It's the biggest crux is that people kind of forget that like Mission Breakout is like a part of Avengers Campus, and that
Yeah,
Mission Breakout is still the big kid ride. Like that's you go to the main attract, like the big ride is still Mission Breakout.
yeah. For the
It's not Web
drops,
Slingers, right? Because it's like a more extreme ride.
that drop messes me up every
Yeah.
time. I can't
Um,
go on to that one anymore.
but people don't see it that way because that's not new. We've had Mission Breakout for a long
Yeah, like
time
four
already,
years.
or a decent time. I don't even think it's like maybe 3,
No,
but
it's
we've
it's
had it.
2017.
Yeah. Oh fuck! It's before AC 10.5. So we've had it for a minute, and so people don't really. It's the same thing like when they opened Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance wasn't open yet. We only had the Falcon ride, Smuggler's Run. So
Yeah,
it's the same thing where they open they
it's like a soft
it's
open.
yeah, and that's not because I feel like they should have. I don't know. It's crazy because we've had Mission Breakout for so long already.
Yeah,
They wanted to bank on the Marvel money sooner than later.
yeah.
But can you imagine if Web Slingers and Mission Breakout open at the same time?
That
People
would have
would
been
genuinely would have been praising Avengers Campus as like not maybe not
a
better
little bit
than
more.
Galaxies, but they would have been praising it way more than they are right now because Web Slingers is still the B ride to the A ride,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's still the side ride, and people who
R.I.P.
are
Tower
going
Terror.
right, people who are going to line up for hours thinking that Web Slingers is going to be something else are going to be disappointed because
A little bit, yeah. I guess that goes back. Take advantage of the virtual
of the
queues,
day of the virtual
please,
queue of
for
the
the love of
day.
God.
But saying that all aside, the ride itself I think is perfectly fine. I think um, am I a little disappointed? Maybe the
A little
only
bit.
thing that's a little disappointing is the fact that like we always knew it was going to be some kind of game like where you
Yeah,
shoot where you aim for points. And there's another ride already in the park that's very famous and very beloved for doing that, the Toy Story one, Midway
yeah.
Mania. So,
Or the blaster one for Buzz Lightyear.
and that's different because that's like you're going through like a
Right.
set and
It's
you're
kind. It's
actually like
kind
you
of
have to aim.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This one, you're looking at a screen and
Right,
you're
right.
just doing something repetitively to get points. Um, so I think it's a little disappointing. Like I was completely aware that it was going to be another Midway Mania like game,
Yeah.
but I was at least hoping because I saw people who went to the previews are like, oh, there's some physical sets in there.
For some
Um,
reason, I thought Doc Ock was going to be in it.
no. I knew that no, there was never going to be a villain, but I just
Yeah,
knew that it was going to be part screens and part like physical set. and that
Yeah.
goes back to like
I must have read like some
mm,
bad faith websites.
that goes back to the universal rides that we were talking about, because the universal rides,
They have
they
villains.
they have a lot of, yeah, they have the villains, but
Yeah.
like Transformers, Spider-Man, not the Simpsons, but I think those two are the ones that I can think about. There's a lot of it is physical sets, and then you go to one room and you get moved and you look at a screen, and then you move around some sets and you go into another stage and there's a screen and it does something to you. Then you go to another stage and there's a lot of set in between. Now, I knew that was never going to be web slingers because there's not enough space
Yeah.
in that little part to make a ride like that unless you're
Yeah.
going to build upwards. Because that's what Rise of the Resistance is. That ride is built, it's big, but it's also built upwards. So there's
Right.
like levels to it. That's why it's so
Yeah.
extensive.
This one was yeah. You just kept moving.
Yeah,
So
but it's. I would have had kinder things to say. I think it's fine. It's
yeah, it's
fun.
fine.
The saving grace is how immersive the levels themselves are. Because if because like without spoiling anything, like you actually go through specific parts of California, like the Avengers Campus. So
Right.
you see the specific areas. Like you go to a part where there's like Ant-Man Easter eggs, and there's even like Guardians Easter eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the saving grace.
That's the
The
coolest
fact
thing.
that it
But
feels like you're actually there is the
yeah.
best part of it.
Yeah. Exactly. So I guess that's fair to say wrap
Yeah.
that up.
But if you would have given me at least one, like Indiana Jones has one indie animatronic, and it's at the very
Yeah.
end, and he just says, yeah, goodbye, or like,
Goodbye.
well,
Yeah.
fuck, we had an adventure, or you're on your next time, you're on
Go
your own.
see
If you would have given
Spider-Man.
me,
No Way
yeah,
Home in theaters December 17th.
if you would have given me one animatronic, and he's at least the upper half, dude, give me
Yeah,
this is the upper
something like
torso,
Rocket,
and
like the yeah.
he's fucking waving, thanks for the guys,
Yeah,
that would
yes.
have been fucking it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, just give me that.
But
Give me
yeah.
that. But
Okay, that's fair.
they gave it to him on top of the building, which is
Yeah,
also kind of fair, right?
that's true. Um, Wrapping up here, what can you say about like the Easter eggs? Because I saw a few. Miles Morales has like a little
Mhm.
like he has a locker in it. They have like a pizza dog sticker for
Signs,
some
there's
reason.
pizza dog signs.
Pizza
I think
dog.
there's a few of them. I think
There's
there might be
America
two. I know there's.
Chavez. America.
Uh huh.
She has like a locker. On the I saw like they had like a little in Peter's lab they had like a claw machine that had a bunch of Disney like merchandise and stuff. That was interesting. And you know, just the fact that you see like Harley and like he's just like he's in the event like you see Harley from Iron Man 3 and you see him with the other scientist characters and they're just like they're all like talking to Peter and talking to each other. Like that's I mean it was just like you thought
It's neat.
like it'd be bigger, but that was neat. That was cool. Like
It's neat, yeah.
for some reason they keep bringing back that actor for like 1 second scenes. That actor like
I mean,
I forgot
that's the
he's
best
been
running
doing-
joke. Right?
Yeah, he's been doing other stuff, but like he just keeps popping up in the Marvel universe for like just the and gets like probably like amazing residual checks for that. But like all the Easter eggs were pretty cool. I mean, like you see Tony calls Spider-Man at one point in the ride.
Yeah.
There was this like I just enjoyed
And
that.
bad
like,
people upset.
on the shawarma stand. The shawarma stand's really good, kind of good priced. You get to have shawarma, but like you see little headlines. They say like Battle of New York, or they say stuff about like I think like there's a Stan Lee billboard too. There was just like that was just cool. I just really enjoyed that little like those Easter eggs because like I'm a big Marvel fan and it feels very populated universe. So I guess that was just my little note on Easter eggs. Unless you want to say anything.
Where's the Uncle Ben Easter eggs, Gene?
Oh, I don't know. He has like Uncle Ben.
Where are they?
He has Uncle Ben.
Where are the Uncle Ben Easter eggs in Avengers Campus? They don't exist.
Right. Well, you know from you know that they're gonna probably do it in No Way Home. Like either Tobey Maguire is gonna be Uncle Ben, or you know.
No, fuck that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
The funniest thing. The funniest thing that happened on like the first day when they do a big Spider-Man show on top and then Tony like calls him. You don't it's not Robert Downey Jr. but it is Tom Holland.
It sounds like it sounds like Red Dead.
It sounds close enough to RDJ, but and then he does this thing on the building where he welcomes you to the land and he does a trick and then that's when they throw the lifelike animatronic in the sky.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing was that when the first videos of that went on the internet, there's this fucking like there's this tweet that was like, wow, I can't believe how they completely erased Uncle Ben from because the Web Slingers building is like an old Stark
Yeah.
automobile, like
Yeah.
a
So,
factory or something like that.
yeah.
But there's like a big Stark sign on like next to that, and people are like, wow, they completely like erased Uncle Ben. And it's like it's the funniest. Like, what do you want him like to say? Is like I'm responsible for my uncle's death.
Uh,
Welcome to Avengers. Yeah, like,
it's like
I live with.
I'm dead, Peter. I've been dead for 15 years.
It's
I've
like
been
I
dead
live
for
with
like
depression.
yeah.
I live with the constant guilt over my head.
I feel like
Welcome
the
to California.
I feel like with Uncle Ben, I don't know. I hate to like kind of like I'm not going a little off. I hate to like give a little bit credit because he should be a little bit more featured in the MCU, Peter. But it's kind of like the death of the Waynes, where like that's you do Uncle Ben. You already seen it in the Sam Raimi movies. You already saw it in Amazing Spider-Man. You saw it in the animated cartoons. It's just like the Waynes, where you're gonna keep because there's not really too much to do for Uncle Ben besides him to say, "With great power comes great responsibility." Like he's in flashbacks, but like if you look at the original comic for Amazing Fantasy 15, he's in there for like 5 pages and he's dead, and then he comes back in like flashbacks, but they're all kind of the same scene. They give like Peter like almost like this Catholic guilt. It's like, hey Peter, do you remember like when you fucked up and you killed
Yeah.
me? You didn't stop the robbery. It's kind of just to like I don't know if it's devil's advocate, but to defend the writers a little bit, it's hard to use Uncle Ben. It's really difficult to feature him in different stuff. Like the only thing I could think of is like Uncle Ben in one of the comics. He's like a soldier in World War II, and he met Captain America for like a second. You
Mhm.
know, or when they tried to use like Uncle Ben in like other storylines, like they have a flashback to him in May. I'm going off on a tangent, but like when him and May
Yeah.
met, it's like it becomes like this melodrama, like oh she almost married a gangster, but then Uncle Ben did this. It's really hard to use him, but like there's nice moments where you can use him. Like the other writers have shown him like he takes Peter out to a Mets game and he's kind of like teaching him lessons.
Uh-huh. Right.
Like Peter Parker is a Mets fan, but like he tells him like, oh, they always lose. It's like, well, as long as you enjoyed yourself, like stuff like that. But it's
Mhm.
it's it's few and far between. Even the comics, like it's not like he's used a whole lot. So the movies, you have like the time that you have and you allot for this plot and stuff, and then probably studio notes. So at least we got some Uncle Ben stuff, but I would like to at least him get mentioned at one point. That's
Right.
as long as
Probably
he,
will be.
yeah, he will be
Yeah.
for sure. Like he's kind of alluded at. So like I'm not
Unless.
trying to like defend like defend Disney. I guess I'm just trying to make a case for the writers of the Spider-Man movies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would
But
agree with some of them.
anyway, Avengers Campus. Last few thoughts.
Because I haven't gone and talk about it yet. Oh, yeah. So this fucking thing that
All right.
like they sell
Yeah.
and that I'll put it on right now.
Oh my God.
Where there, a lot of people were mad because they were like, oh, it's pay to win. Because technically
Yeah.
you have a hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So he's showing you these
Okay.
websites. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
loud.
so you put this in. Yeah, it's loud, right? So you put this on,
It's a web shooter.
and it's a web shooter, right? And then
Use it.
it gives you like power ups on the right.
Yeah.
So this one specifically gives you like electric webs, and they have
It's
another
DLC
one.
content.
It's DLC for rides,
Yeah.
which is weird. And I was very conservative on my money that day, so I was
Yeah,
like,
you have to
if I'm gonna buy one thing, it's gonna be this shit because I want to see if this shit works or not. Because they're saying all this stuff, and a lot of the theme park community is very like anti
Yeah.
of this kind of things
Very-
because it's like you're paying for more immersion, and that's not fair.
Yeah. Well, if you're like 5 years old, you're gonna kind of
There were
you're not gonna
kids
be good at
running.
this.
Yeah, no, right. There was kids running around with these fucking thing. They were just like in the outside, like playing with each other and shit, right? But it's a cool
I've been
like
doing
toy
this-
on its own.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 25 years since I saw my first Spider-Man cartoon. So
Yeah,
I've been having loads of practice. making imaginary webs. These kids, they don't have the experience, so they
They
need
don't have the experience. They need
they
a,
don't
a
they need
physical thing.
this. Yeah, go buy it.
And they
Um,
sell another one that's
yeah,
an Iron Man repulsor, so
yeah,
it looks like you have to do the go like this, and it does the whole like you know the sound. It makes like that, ding,
yeah,
like when the Iron Man does the thing.
yeah.
You go on the right, and that one you actually shoot like Iron Man blast.
Oh,
So
okay, that's cool.
does it? Is it like? I'm not. This is not like my unboxing
Yeah,
right or something
it's
like that
not an
because it's already
unboxing video.
open. But from my experience, they fucking threw me on the ride. It was the end of the day. Granted, the park was like already closed. They put me
Yeah,
on the ride just to get me through it. This cast member outside did tell me how to set because there's multiple settings on this thing, and you're supposed to have it on a specific setting. So when you're on the ride, there's like a fun thing, like if you're interested in like theme parks and stuff, because there are a bunch of scanners or sensors scanning your movement on the ride, like every like second or
yeah.
something like that.
Because they have
Like
to
a certain
analyze your
yeah, they have
motions
to
of
analyze
your
your movement, and you have
yeah,
to. It's like a we right. You have to point it at the like to be accurate and stuff like that, right?
right, yeah.
So if it senses this, whatever the hell, it gives you the different power ups or whatever.
Okay,
When
interesting.
I went on it, because it was my first time and I didn't know what the fuck the ride was gonna look like, I generally did not fucking know if this
Yeah,
was making a difference. There were some times where I was like, oh wait a minute, I think I'm doing it right, and then there was other times where I was like, wait, I don't even think this thing's fucking like, working. I would have to go on it. Like obviously, I would have to see. I've seen videos of people on the ride, and frankly, that whole thing of like paying for immersion and stuff like that, I don't think it necessarily gives you that big of like an upgrade.
yeah.
It does look different, and I'm not sure. Like again, the ride is new, and it's one of
It's
those.
like an alternate skin.
Yeah, it's like an alt skin in a way, but the ride is still very new. People
Yeah.
can go on it, and they're probably gonna find new ways to fuck around on
Oh
whatever to
yeah.
hit, and they'll
Yeah.
be like, you can only hit this with this web or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, right?
So
Uh,
you don't need it. You don't need to buy these web shooters or repulsors to have a better time. It's like an
no,
alternate. Yeah.
it's and even for like the Disney completionist, the
Yeah.
Disney theme park completionist, who I was like,
They
well,
want
I'm not
every
really.
achievement.
They want every achievement, whatever. I would still say to hold off on them
Hmm.
because again, the ride is still very new. You're
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly not gonna really fucking know what you're doing on
Yeah.
there the first time.
Yeah.
Like, just wait until everything dies down, and
Yeah.
then you could probably be able to fuck with it. And who knows? They've done it before. If some of these things aren't responding efficiently, they'll do like not a recall, but they'll fucking do something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And then
Right.
then if you keep them, the price will go up. So you could
Yeah,
sell
right.
it on anyway. But anyway, I guess
It's
that's
not a must. It's
yeah.
not a must.
That's our yeah. I guess
Mhm.
that's our thoughts on Avengers Campus. Andrew, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at AndrewJ626. I'll be talking about this stuff a lot more. Like, I was very invested prior to COVID, so it kind of does feel like we're getting closer to some kind of normalcy in a
Yeah.
way.
So, yeah.
Years
Just
later,
keep getting
for
vaccinated.
granted, I've been fully vaxxed for a
Same.
while, so has Gene. We're not going. I had my mask on. We're
I
not
had my
going.
mask on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing things irresponsibly. But yeah, if there's anything else, yeah, get vaxxed so you can go enjoy this in person.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're also going to be in the Orange County, so
A
they're
lot of anti-maskers, a
a
lot
lot
of
of
but
anti-maskers. But
they do a good
anyway,
job though.
yeah, yeah, and then yeah, they do. The Disney staff is pretty good. The workers, they try their
Yes,
best. And yeah, just yeah, all your discussing film stuff is great. You could follow that too, right?
absolutely, please.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on the way. Things are getting very heated. We're going into the summer movie season. The first one we've had in like over a year, so things are getting, everything. Everyone's like back to the movies, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's the big thing right now.
Finally.
And more or less, it is happening. So we're gonna have a lot of goodies coming, a lot of
Cool.
movies, a
Cool,
lot of
cool. I'll look forward.
exclusive things. So please follow us.
There you go. And you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Gene9892. You can follow the Waffle Press at the Waffle Press on Twitter and at the Waffle Press podcast on Instagram. We put up some cool photos and we have like some stuff of us at the park. On my Instagram, you could see me eating a whole giant Ant-Man or Giant Man pretzel. So look for that. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Um, uh, You find something you like, maybe something you don't like. Subscribe anyway. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.